observation number one for me is just from the videos that I've seen and just from all of the different clips, whether it's on Instagram or whatnot, much different energy from Juan Soto going into year two. It is very, very clear. He is comfortable. He is excited around his new teammates like a Luis Robert and all different kinds of players, Polanco, all of these different guys. And the fact is, Joe, yeah, I'm judging off of just videos and body language and energy. Kind of feels like this is becoming Juan Soto's team. Juan Soto knows he's the face of this organization. Juan Soto is an absolute superstar in Major League Baseball. And unlike last year where it was, wow, Juan Soto's wearing Met orange and blue, this year it feels like, no, Juan Soto is now the face of the New York Mets. And I think it takes the player accepting that just as much as the fan base buying into it, Joe. And it feels like both are meshing together already.
There's no question. It's night and day from spring training last year to spring training this year. He got more comfortable, I think, as the 2025 season wore on. You kind of saw Juan Soto become Juan Soto. But last spring, like everything we heard was this is a guy that's just going to show up. He's going to do his thing. He's going to kind of keep to himself. And that's just who Juan Soto is. Now it looks like he's the life of the party almost. You see him laughing with everyone, spending time with all different layers of the roster, whether it is someone like Francisco Alvarez or you mentioned Jorge Polanco, walking with Carson Bench and talking to him, spending a lot of time with Luis. Yeah, so that, I mean, and even Carson Bench was like, I couldn't believe that it was Juan Soto. And we almost forget how young he is. And like Juan Soto came up while Carson Bench was in like middle school. So it's just like a totally weird thing almost that Soto and Bench are going to have as potentially the corner outfielders of this Mets organization for years to come. But there's zero doubt in my mind, Connor, that whether it's his team or not, I mean, according to Steve Cohen, it's not anybody's team ever again, as long as he owns the team. But there's not a doubt in my mind that Juan Soto went from being a guy who plays for the Mets to genuinely just being a New York Met.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Cohen quote, which was interesting to me and something that if you've listened to the Mets pod long enough, you would know where Joe and I stand now for literally years. The reality is there's now two captains in baseball, Joe. Aaron Judge, which was part of the situation when he signed the contract extension with them, and Salvador Perez on the Royals. That's it. There are two captains in baseball. And the funny thing is, how many people do you, like the average baseball fan, do you think, one, knows that, and two, that the only non-Aaron Judge captain is Salvador Perez, not counting Royals fans? It just shows, like, one, this is an overblown thing. Two, I liked, Cohen got clipped in the sense of, like, there's never going to be a captain as long as I own the team. The more interesting quote to me, Joe, was Cohen saying, locker rooms and clubhouses basically are self-governed. Like they kind of figure themselves out, who's the leaders and who aren't and all of that, where I thought that was not only spot on, but really, really savvy awareness of this generation as well.
And Connor, to be honest, the rosters change so much. Like look how different this Mets roster is from just last year. If you look at it, Alvarez, obviously at catcher, Lindor at shortstop, whether it's opening day or whenever he's ready, and then Juan Soto in left field. It's the rest of the entire lineup is going to be people that weren't on the Mets last year.
Right.
Just crazy how that goes. So I get it. And the Yankees did it. And, you know, Salvador Perez, I have to look this up. I'm pretty sure he wears a C on his jersey. So if he actually wears a C on his jersey, huge respect. I don't think there's many people that would know that. I think if you asked just an average fan, they'd think everybody had a captain, but it's two teams now. It's always just never felt like a baseball thing to me. And that's not being disrespectful to David Wright and Keith Hernandez and John Franco and the guys that have worn the C on their jersey as Mets before. Just a different time, different era. I think I'm glad it was kind of nipped where it doesn't need to be a discussion point going forward. And the reality too is the whole captain thing. That feels like that's more for the fans, right, than anything else. So I think keeping it in-house, having like a leadership committee of sorts in the locker room where you have a few leaders, that feels like the right way to go about it.
And you're right. Perez does wear the C on his jersey, which is definitely a lost art in the sport. Pretty cool. It looks better on some than others. Sometimes it's like right on top of the Nike logo, which is aesthetically, it would make sense more on the empty side. But you and I, everybody knows where we also stand on the manufacturing of these jerseys in this era as well.